Welcome to my channel, another beer review. This is by Samuel Smith's Brewery, Tadcaster, United Kingdom. The brewery has been around since 1758, so a couple hundred years now at least. It's their seasonal winter ale. Here's the bottle that I'm pretty sure you've all seen before because it's pretty widely available. I don't know how long this beer's been available for when it was first brewed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is at least a couple hundred years old, about as old as a brewery. This bottle is 1 pint, 2.7 fluid ounces, 550 milliliters. There's a story here on the back I'll read. It's not terribly long. This seasonal beer is a limited edition brewed for the short days and long nights of winter. The full body, resulting from fermentation in stone Yorkshire squares, and the luxurious malt character, which will appeal to the broad range of drinkers, is balanced against whole-dried Fugel and Golding hops with nuances and complexities that should be contemplated before an open fire. A little hard to read, but that paragraph right there is what I just read to you. I don't recall the exact months this is available, but it's obviously a winter beer. Usually winter beers are available about October or definitely by November until late January. This bottle cost me $5. They don't give any real detail of what's in it except for the basic stuff. It says on the website, water, malted barley, yeast, hops, and carbon dioxide. The assumption here is that they're going to be using a 2-row base malt. They may be using Pilsner. Bread, cracker, biscuit, dough are the usual flavors. For the darker colors, it really depends on the malts they use. It could be anything from a darker Munich to a roasted, a chocolate malt, could be a dark crystal malt. There are a number of them that can give a dark flavor. It can be anything from a toffee to a crystal flavor to a burnt sugar, raisin, plum, dark fruit flavors, toasted, coffee. The only 2 ingredients they talk about, which is also on the back, are the English Fugel and Golding hops. Fugel are a really nice mild hop, floral tones to it, maybe a little bit herbal stuff, grassy notes even I've heard about. Golding hops, those are fully named as East Kent Golding. I usually get a little bit of light fruity tones out of those, possibly some earthy floral characteristics. This is an ale, not a lager, so it's fermented at warmer temperatures. It's going to have a little bit more of a rich profile to it. They did say it's full body. The grain was mashed, steeped at a warmer temperature, usually at the high 150 degree range Fahrenheit, and that will result in a full body, fuller mouthfeel. This is 6% ABV. I don't know what the IBUs are. Winter ales are a little bit all over the place, but generally they're a full body, they're thick, full mouthfeel, maybe a little bit chewy. Not unusual at all to get dark malt flavors out of those, such as some dried fruit. You might also get some toasted or oak notes out of them, a malty backbone. Some winter warmers are even pale. I've had a few of those, but the bulk of them are a darker color, either from a mahogany to a black. Nice white frothy foam, as you can see. Then again, I also poured it so it'd have more head on it. Beautiful color. That is, I would say, a deeper honey color, deeper golden, light amber. As you can tell, it's very clear, it's transparent. Can you see me through it? Pretty decent right there. No particles floating anywhere you can tell. There's no sediment on the bottom. They may have used kettle findings, Irish moss, whirlflock, or some cake findings, such as isinglass or gelatin. It may have been clarified, possibly. I'm thinking medium to high flocculating yeast, which means it clears out suspension. Cold crashing process, that's after it's done brewed. They lower the temperature of the fermenter to near freezing for several days. Very nice appearance. It is moderately carbonated. Can you see that right there? Let's show the color off just for a moment here. That's just beautiful. I love it. I really like that color. I do wish it was darker though. I get faint floral characteristics, maybe a little bit of a nutty or bready aroma, but it's very faint. Gentle fruity notes are teasing my nose. No sweetness, no citrus. I was anticipating some earthy, herbal from the Fugels and Golding hops that they use, but I don't get any of that. I immediately get some bread, nutty, toasted flavors back through here. A good hop nibbling out of it. I wouldn't really call it much of a bitterness. The weird thing about that is neither of those hops used are bittering hops. They're both aromatic. It tastes medium, get closer to full body to me. It opens up my mouth, covers it completely, but it's a light coating on the top. And on the bottom, it's a little bit heavier of a coating, as I mentioned, of a nut, biscuity, bready, hop nibbling, closer to bitterness. They make themselves known, present, and they hang around, for a while and then very slowly dissipate. Nutty, bready, some noticeable bitterness on the bottom of my palate. Even though it coats everything, all the flavors on the bottom. I feel there's a decent amount of toast in there and some light roasted. I still can't figure out where the roasted notes come from because those are usually dark malts. The toasted can definitely come from some Pilsner and two-row. No spiciness, no citrus, piney, earthy, herbal flavors out of it at all. I don't notice any coffee notes in here at all. There's no chocolatey or any kind of sweetness like that. No toffee or caramel, which would come from a crystal malt or sometimes a caramunic. I don't get any of those notes at all. No sweet fruit, candy, dark fruits or light fruits, no citrusy notes. There's really no malty backbone in this. It's a little bitter for the IBUs range that I believe it has. It could also be from a malt that's known to give sharp bitterness notes or astringency. That's not always hops. I think they rely a little bit more on the toasted and roasted flavors than anything else. I don't really taste the ale yeast in this. Sometimes I get notes from that. The mouthfeel is thick and chewy. It's definitely not thin or watery. I think this is a simple recipe. I'm disappointed with this beer at this point. It just doesn't have the flavors I would want or anticipate. It coats my entire mouth, top and bottom. The bulk is now staying on the bottom. It does start out with a little bit of that bread, biscuit, nutty, primarily bitterness and some roasted flavors on the bottom. The flavors stay around a long time. They really linger bitterness right back in here. It's not pleasant on my palate. Definitely pretty hop forward on my palate, although like I said, I could be mistaking that for strong toasted character. It does taste full body out of the bottle. No sweetness, no candy, toffee or caramel, none of that. Still no fruits at all, no citrus, no tangy, still no earthy or herbal, no spiciness in this. Mouthfeel is still thick and chewy, not watery at all. I'm only getting 2 or 3 flavors out of this. I imagine this has to be a simple recipe. I just don't think they use a whole bunch of malts in it. As far as I'm concerned, it is not a typical winter ale at all. Between the bottle and the glass, I can't tell the difference. They taste the same. No diacetyl, no cidery, no chemical like paint thinner, nail polish. The bottle's not skunked from sunlight. No rotten fruit flavors. I didn't get any fusel alcohols out of it. No DMS, rubber, plastic, paper. Astringency like sucking a tea bag. Possibly, that's an off flavor. Would I buy this again? Definitely not. Doesn't have any of the winter warmer flavors I would expect. The winter candies, the sweetness, the toffee caramel, none of that. Too bitter, roasted and toasted for me. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would. If you like those stronger notes like I've been describing, you might like this beer. If you want something a little more sweeter and maltier, this is not the beer. I feel that this is a bad example of a winter ale. Maybe they want a unique style to it, but this is just far too hoppy for a winter ale. It failed my expectations, and I just don't think this is a good example. I think it's a very below average. Samuel Smith's Brewery, Tadcaster United Kingdom. This is their winter ale. Comments, feedback, anything you want to talk about beer, questions you have, send me a message. That's all for this review. If you found it helpful and you liked it, send me a like and feel free to subscribe. Cheers. Should have peeled the paper off first. Thought that went out real well, didn't I? You might be surprised how often somebody could say, oh, it's definitely